The crystal halls of Ethereal Prime buzzed with the conversations of 100 different species. The massive space station served as the heart of galactic trade, where beings from across the universe came to negotiate deals, settle disputes, and maintain the delicate balance of interstellar commerce. Ambassador Zara Chen walked through these halls with quiet confidence. Her simple black diplomatic uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate robes and exotic appearances of her alien counterparts. Zara had been Earth's representative to the Galactic Trade Council for 3 years. In that time, she had learned to navigate the complex web of galactic politics with patience and skill. The humans were relative newcomers to this ancient community, having achieved faster-than-light travel only. 50 years ago, most species treated them with polite condescension, viewing humanity as an interesting but ultimately insignificant addition to galactic civilization. The council chamber was enormous, designed to accommodate species that ranged from tiny, crystalline beings no larger than houseflies to massive gas giant dwellers whose environmental suits were the size of small buildings. At the center of the chamber, Prime Zenth floated in their containment field. As an energy being, Prime Zenth appeared as a constantly shifting aurora of colors that somehow conveyed emotion and meaning to those who knew how to read them. Today's session was supposed to be routine: trade route adjustments, shipping dispute resolutions, the usual bureaucratic business that kept galactic commerce flowing smoothly. But Zara had discovered something that changed everything. Hidden in the encrypted data cores she had been given access to as a council member, she had found evidence of a conspiracy. Several major galactic powers were secretly coordinating to limit human expansion and technological development. The Saurian Empire, led by the massive reptilian overlord Krex, dominated military affairs in this sector. The Crystalline Collective controlled most mining operations. The Ethereal Union managed energy production and distribution. Together, these three powers controlled nearly 60% of galactic trade. And according to the files Zara had discovered, they were working together to keep humanity contained to their small corner of the galaxy. Overlord Krex rose from his seat, his scaled form towering over the other representatives. His species had evolved from apex predators, and everything about their appearance reminded others of that fact. Sharp teeth, powerful claws, eyes that tracked movement with predatory focus. When Krex spoke, his voice carried the rumbling authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed without question. The human expansion into the Vega sector must be reconsidered, Krex announced, his words causing a stir throughout the chamber. Their primitive technology poses risks to established trade routes. Their military capabilities are insufficient to protect the shipping lanes they wish to control. Zara felt her jaw tighten, but she kept her expression neutral. This was it. They were making their move in public, confident that humanity could not effectively resist. Prime Zenth's colors shifted to what Zara had learned indicated agreement and consideration. The Overlord raises valid concerns. Prime Zenth's mental voice reached every mind in the chamber simultaneously. Perhaps a review of human qualifications for sector expansion is warranted. Several other representatives voiced their agreement. The slug-like Graxians made wet sounds that their translators converted to words of support. The insectoid hive queens clicked their mandibles in harmony. One by one, the major powers lined up against human interests. Finally, attention turned to Zara. She stood slowly, feeling the weight of hundreds of alien eyes upon her. This moment would determine humanity's future in galactic civilization. She could protest, argue, present counter-evidence. She could fight this decision through proper channels and bureaucratic procedures, or she could do something else entirely. Honorable representatives, Zara began, her voice calm and clear. I understand your concerns about human capabilities. We are indeed newcomers to this galactic community. Our technology may appear primitive compared to species who have traveled the stars for millennia. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Several representatives seemed pleased that the human was acknowledging their inferiority without argument. However, Zara continued, I believe there may be some misunderstandings about human military and technological capabilities. Perhaps a demonstration would be more helpful than lengthy debates. Overlord Krex made a sound that might have been laughter. A demonstration. What could humans possibly show us that we have not seen before? Your ships are slow and clumsy. Your weapons are barely sufficient for defending your own worlds. What demonstration could change these facts? Zara smiled, and something in that expression made several of the more perceptive representatives shift uncomfortably in their seats. Well, Overlord Krex, the thing about humans is that we have a tendency to prepare for situations we hope we will never face. We also have a cultural tradition of not revealing all our capabilities until circumstances require it. She activated her communication device and sent a coded message to Earth. The message was simple. Protocol Omega is authorized. Prepare for full disclosure. I have just contacted my government, Zara announced to the chamber. Within 4 hours, you will have a complete demonstration of human military capabilities. I believe this will resolve any questions about our ability to protect trade routes or defend our territorial claims. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some representatives seemed amused by human audacity. Others appeared concerned about the implications. Prime Zent's colors shifted through several spectrums that indicated deep thought and calculation. Overlord Krix stood again, his massive form radiating aggression. The Saurian Empire accepts this challenge. If humans wish to demonstrate their military power, we are prepared to provide appropriate opposition. Our battle fleets will be ready to respond to any human posturing, as will the Crystalline Collective, added Representative Shard, speaking through the harmonic vibrations that served as their species' language. We have defense contracts with 17 different systems in this sector. Any human aggression will be met with appropriate force. Zara's smile widened slightly. I appreciate your willingness to participate in this demonstration. However, I should clarify one important point. This will not be a battle. This will be a revelation on Earth. Director Sarah Kim stood in the command center of Facility Olympus, built deep within the moon's core. The facility had been humanity's most closely guarded secret for 30 years. While the galaxy knew about Earth's surface military bases and orbital defense platforms, they had no idea about the massive industrial and military complex hidden beneath Luna's surface. Captain Marcus Webb studied the tactical displays with professional interest. As commander of the Earth Defense Force, he had been preparing for this day since humanity first made contact with alien civilization. The galaxy had assumed that humans were technologically inferior because that was exactly what humanity wanted them to believe. Director Kim, Captain Webb reported, all fleets are in position. 700,000 vessels are ready for immediate deployment. The new phase shift drives are functioning perfectly. We can have ships anywhere in the galaxy within minutes. Director Kim nodded grimly. The aliens attacked the colony ship New Horizon 12 hours ago. 3,000 civilian deaths. They wanted to send us a message about knowing our place in galactic hierarchy. They succeeded, Webb replied, his voice hard. The message we received is that it's time to stop pretending to be weak. For 50 years, humanity had followed a careful strategy. They had revealed only their most basic technologies to galactic civilization, chemical rockets instead of fusion drives, nuclear weapons instead of antimatter devices, simple energy shields instead of the reality-bending defensive systems they had actually developed. The galaxy saw what humanity wanted them to see, a young primitive species that was grateful to be included in galactic civilization. But humanity had been busy during those 50 years. While other species focused on trade and politics, humans had focused on learning and building. They had studied every piece of alien technology they could get their hands on. They had improved it, refined it, and combined it in ways that no other species had ever attempted. The attack on New Horizon had been the final straw. The alien coalition had targeted a civilian colony ship filled with families moving to establish a new settlement in the Outer Rim territories. They had destroyed it without warning, without negotiation, without mercy. They wanted to demonstrate human vulnerability and isolation. Instead, they had awakened something that the galaxy was unprepared to face. All fleet commanders are ready, reported Communications Officer Lisa Jong. They're awaiting your final authorization. Director Kim looked at the tactical display showing the positions of Allied and hostile forces throughout the galaxy. 700,000 human warships were hidden in hyperspace, waiting for the signal. Each ship represented technology that was decades ahead of anything the galaxy had ever seen. Send the authorization, Kim ordered. Operation Daybreak is now active. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity really is. Across human space, hidden shipyards and secret bases received the signal. Massive vessels that had never appeared on any official registry powered up their systems. Weapons that existed only in classified research files were brought online. An entire shadow fleet that the galaxy had never suspected prepared to reveal itself. The demonstration Ambassador Chen had promised was about to begin, and the universe would never be the same. Overlord Krex stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Decimator, watching the tactical displays with satisfaction. The human colony ship New Horizon had been destroyed exactly as planned. The attack had been swift, overwhelming, and complete. No survivors, no witnesses, no possibility of retaliation from the pathetically weak human military. The humans should receive word of their loss within hours, reported his tactical officer, Commander Slicks. Their ambassador will understand that her species needs to accept their proper place in galactic hierarchy. Krex nodded, his reptilian features showing satisfaction. The Saurian Empire had built its reputation on decisive military action. When diplomacy failed, superior firepower provided clarity. The humans had been growing too confident, too ambitious. The destruction of New Horizon would remind them that there were limits to what the galaxy would tolerate from newcomers. Signal. The fleet, Krex ordered. We maintain position here for another day, then return to patrol duties. The humans will need time to process their loss and respond appropriately. On Ethereal Prime, the other conspirators were equally confident. The Crystalline Collective had provided intelligence about human shipping routes. The Ethereal Union had supplied the energy weapons used in the attack. Together, they had sent a message that could not be misunderstood. Humanity would remain in their assigned corner of the galaxy or face the consequences. Prime Zenth floated in their private chambers, their energy form pulsing with satisfaction. The human ambassador had spoken of demonstrations and revelations. But what could a primitive species possibly show that would impress civilizations thousands of years old? The attack on New Horizon proved that human military technology was exactly as weak as it appeared. But 47 hours after the attack, something impossible appeared on long-range sensors. The first detection came from Deep Space Monitor, Station Echo 7, positioned at the edge of the Vega system. Sensor operator Velks was reviewing routine stellar radiation readings when his displays suddenly went insane. Energy signatures, unlike anything in the databases, were approaching from multiple vectors simultaneously. Station Commander Velk called out, his voice tight with confusion. "I'm reading massive gravitational distortions throughout the system. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands." Commander Prex moved to examine the sensor readings. The ethereal being's energy form flickered with alarm as the data processed through their consciousness. "This is impossible. These readings suggest massive objects moving through hyperspace, but the energy signatures don't match any known drive technology." Sir Velks reported, his voice rising in pitch. "The objects are beginning to emerge from hyperspace. Commander, I count over 700,000 individual contacts. Throughout the galaxy, similar reports were flooding in. From the outer rim to the galactic core, massive fleets were appearing from hyperspace with mathematical precision. Each fleet consisted of ships that dwarfed anything in known databases. Each vessel radiated energy signatures that suggested technology far beyond current galactic understanding. On the bridge of the Decimator, Overlord Krex stared at his tactical displays with growing disbelief. The sensors showed over 50,000 human vessels surrounding his position. Ships that were larger, more heavily armed, and more technologically advanced than anything the Saurian Empire had ever built. "This is impossible," Krex growled. "Human technology is primitive. Their largest ships are barely frigate class by our standards. These readings must be sensor errors." But visual confirmation soon followed. The human fleet became visible as sleek, angular vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Their hulls showed no seams or joints, as if each ship had been grown rather than built. Energy fields surrounded each vessel in patterns that suggested defensive capabilities beyond anything in galactic databases. "Incoming transmission," reported the communications officer. "It's from the human flagship." On screen, Krex ordered. The face that appeared was not Ambassador Chen, but a human male wearing a uniform that combined functional military design with subtle displays of advanced technology. Captain Marcus Webb regarded Krex with calm, professional interest. "Overlord Krex Webb said, his voice carrying easily across interstellar space without any detectable transmission delay. "I am Captain Marcus Webb of the Earth Defense Force. You are surrounded by the human First Fleet, consisting of 53,000 vessels. I believe you recently destroyed one of our civilian colony ships." Krex found his voice. "How is this possible? Human military capabilities are well documented. You cannot have hidden fleets of this size and technological sophistication." Webb smiled, and the expression was not entirely pleasant. "Overlord Krex, did you really believe that a species capable of achieving faster-than-light travel in only 50 years would stop innovating once they reached the stars? Did you think we would share all our technological developments with civilizations that viewed us as potential threats?" On Ethereal Prime, Ambassador Zara Chen stood in the council chamber, watching the real-time tactical displays that showed human fleets positioned throughout galactic space. 700,000 human warships had appeared simultaneously in every major system, not to attack or threaten, but to simply demonstrate that they existed. Honorable representatives, Zara addressed the stunned council. As promised, this is our demonstration of human military capabilities. For 50 years, humanity has maintained what we call a peaceful facade. We showed you only our basic technologies while we studied, learned, and improved everything you taught us. Prime Zent's energy form flickered through colors that indicated shock, confusion, and growing understanding. The human ships, their technology is completely unknown to us. How did you develop such capabilities without our knowledge? The same way humans have always developed new capabilities, Zara replied. Through creativity, determination, and the understanding that survival sometimes requires keeping your true strength hidden until it's needed. Representative Shard of the Crystalline Collective spoke through harmonic vibrations that carried undertones of fear. The energy signatures from your vessels suggest antimatter containment systems more advanced than anything we possess. Your defensive fields appear to manipulate space-time itself. Such technology should be impossible for a species with only 50 years of spaceflight experience. Zara nodded. You're correct that such technology should be impossible, unless, of course, you have the advantage of being the only species in the galaxy that truly understands the concept of exponential technological growth. While other civilizations perfected existing technologies over thousands of years, humans learned to revolutionize technology every few decades. The tactical displays showed what was happening throughout galactic space. Human fleets had positioned themselves near every major military installation, trade center, and political capital, not threatening, not attacking, simply present and visible. Captain Webb's voice reached every command center simultaneously, through communication systems that bypassed all known transmission methods. Attention all galactic military forces. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the Earth Defense Force. Human fleets are now positioned throughout galactic space. We are not here to conquer or threaten. We are here to establish new terms for peaceful coexistence. The attack on our civilian colony ship, New Horizon, was an unprovoked act of aggression that resulted in the deaths of 3,000 innocent people. This attack was coordinated by the Saurian Empire, the Crystalline Collective, and the Ethereal Union as part of a conspiracy to limit human expansion through intimidation and violence. Overlord Krex tried to rally his forces. All Saurian fleets, prepare for battle. We will not be intimidated by human trickery and illusions. But as Saurian ships powered up their weapons and shields, something extraordinary happened. The human vessels didn't respond with threats or aggressive maneuvers. Instead, they simply neutralized every weapon system in the Saurian fleet without firing a shot. Energy weapons went offline. Missile systems deactivated. Even the most basic defensive systems shut down as if they had never existed. How? Krex demanded. How are you doing this? Webb's image appeared on every screen in the Saurian fleet simultaneously. Overlord Krex, human technology is based on understanding rather than simply using. We don't just build energy weapons, we understand energy itself. We don't just use computers, we understand information. When you truly understand something, controlling it becomes simple. Throughout galactic space, the same demonstration was occurring. Alien military forces found their weapons offline, their shields down, their ships functional but completely defenseless. Not destroyed, not damaged. Simply neutralized with technology that operated on principles beyond current galactic understanding. The message was clear. Humanity possessed the ability to end any conflict before it began. But instead of using this overwhelming advantage to conquer or destroy, they were using it to establish peace. The new terms for galactic coexistence are simple, Captain Webb announced. No species will again attack human civilian populations. Trade routes will be open to all species based on merit, not political influence. The Galactic Trade Council will be restructured to represent all species equally, not just the most militarily powerful. In return, humanity will share selected technologies that will benefit all galactic civilizations. Medical advances, agricultural improvements, energy production methods. We will also provide security services for species that cannot protect themselves from aggressive neighbors. Zara looked round the stunned council chamber. The choice is yours, honorable representatives. We can continue with the old system of might makes right politics, where powerful species dominate weaker ones through force and intimidation. Or we can build something better together. Prime Zenth's colors shifted through spectrums that indicated deep thought and calculation. After several minutes, they spoke to the entire chamber. The Ethereal Union accepts these terms. We welcome a new era of truly equitable galactic civilization. One by one, the other species agreed. Some, like the Crystalline Collective, accepted gracefully and with obvious relief. Others, like the Saurian Empire, agreed reluctantly but completely, knowing they had no choice against such overwhelming technological superiority. 6 months later, Ambassador Zara Chen stood once again in the council chamber of Ethereal Prime. But the chamber was different now. Instead of a few powerful species dominating discussions while weaker ones listened in silence, every species had an equal voice. Trade routes were open and fair. Conflicts were resolved through negotiation rather than force. The human fleets still existed, still maintained their positions throughout galactic space. But they had become protectors rather than conquerors, guardians rather than tyrants. They had used their moment of supreme advantage not to enslave the galaxy, but to free it. And in doing so, they had proved something that the universe would never forget, that true strength lies not in the power to destroy, but in the wisdom to build something better.